For the next experiment, we're going to use a bread and butter pickle jar, some uncooked rice, and a paring knife. What I'm going to do is pour the uncooked rice into the jar. You couldn't really do this experiment with cooked rice. Rice, by the way, feeds over 85% of the world's population. And here I am wasting it on a science experiment. Okay, now I've got the jar filled up. My objective, folks, in doing this experiment is to stab the knife into the jar and then hopefully pick the knife up and the jar along with it. Let's see what happens. Now the rice has been poured into the jar. It's loosely packed together. There are a lot of air spaces between the grains. I've got the knife down there. I can feel it on the bottom, and I pull the knife up, and the jar stays down there. So that means I've done something wrong. No, I didn't really do something wrong. I just didn't compact the rice close enough together. What I have to do is reduce the size of the air pockets that separate the grains of rice, compacting it together. Now, if I had a TV camera that could look over my shoulder and down into this jar of rice, you would see the grains of rice being pushed down into the jar. And I can feel the force being exerted against the knife. So I should be able to pick the jar up now, right? No, didn't work. Well, maybe we need more rice. Okay, we'll fill it up again. And by the way, you might have noticed that the level of rice in the jar is quite a bit below what it was when you started. That means the rice is compacting. So we're going to start stabbing the rice again, and I can really feel the pressure on it now. I'm going to pick the jar up now. I'm not going to pick the jar up now. I probably need 2 or 3 more grains of rice. Oops, I spilled 2 there. Still not working. Try 2 more grains of rice. 1, 2. Still not working. I've got 1 grain of rice here on the table. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, I'm going to really stick it down on there and lift it up and see if that last grain of rice did it. And it did. And look at my left hand underneath the jar. Why did I do that? For the same reason I did it with the panes of glass. If this happens to fall and the jar breaks, you'll have one big mess on your hands. So always use those safety precautions. And again, the science here was compacting the rice together, reducing the air pressure between the grains of the rice. Then the rice at a right angle exerts force on the blade of the knife, and you can pick the jar up.